Okay, hello one and all. Welcome to Electronic Circuit Simulation online audit course. Today's topic is op-amp based circuit current to voltage converter. Specifically, we are concentrating on studying the application of a current to voltage converter. So this lecture is in continuation of a previous lecture which covered the following topics. So during the last online lecture series, we have discussed the following topics. First, we have discussed the concept of current to voltage conversion. Then we have studied the circuit that is I to V converter using op-amp. We have seen its basic limitations, and we have overcome the basic limitation of I to V converter using high sensitivity I to V converter. So now we are discussing we'll be discussing the applications of I to V converter, specifically 4-bit DAC, that is 4-bit digital to analog converter we are going to discuss today. So let us directly start with the topic. So in the last online lecture, we have simulated this circuitry. This is a simple I to V converter, which converts the input current into a output voltage. Let me just run this thing and show it to you. Okay, so this is showing you all the, yeah. So this is my output current, which is around zero point 0.1 milliamperes, and this input current is getting converted into output voltage. So around zero point 0.1 milliamperes is converted into minus 10 using this practical I to V converter. The formula, the relation between the output and the output voltage and the input current is given by V out is equal to minus Is into Rf. So the minus sign is for because it is connected to the inverting terminal of op amp. Now we will be using this concept, that is conversion of a current into a voltage in building up a 4-bit digital to analog converter. So let us directly start with the topic. So for that, let me just open a new schematic and start building up the circuitry. So first I will select the op amp. So I'll select OP07 and place it onto the screen. Next, I will have to select the power supply. So I'll select the voltage. So we require dual power supply. So hence we will select two power DC voltages, and we have to join them also together with a wire. So we require dual power supply to power up the op amp. So here we have to connect the common ground like this, and let me connect this with a wire. So this will be the common ground of the circuitry. The upper terminal, I'll name it as VCC. So I will label this node as VCC and label the lower side node as VEE. Now let me just zoom back. Yeah. So now I have to connect the remaining connections of this. So what I will do is I'll start connecting the resistors. So I'll take one resistor and I have to rotate it. Yeah, and I place it onto the screen. Okay. So next we take another resistor and connect it over here. So we are slightly building up the concept. Right now, you all might not know why we are doing this and how and what is the purpose of this, but it will be clear. Just have to be patient. And now let me connect this resistor to the inverting terminal input of the op amp, and let me connect this to the output terminal of the op amp. I have to shift this supply little bit towards the left hand side because I have to label the output node. So now I'm ready to label the output node. and I right click and name it as V out. So let me call this as V out. Next, I will quickly put up the power supply connection. Okay, so the lower one I'll call it VE, and the upper one I'll call it VCC. Okay, let me just shift this value over here. Okay, so there is no confusion. And let us connect the non-inverting input terminal to the ground permanently. And I'll take a ground and keep place it over here. Yeah. Also, let me give the power supply voltages values. So let me give it as around 15 volts. So let us consider this as also 15 volts. Basically, VE will be negative because negative part of the power supply is connected directly to VE. So this I have powered up the op-amp. Now let me connect this resistor also. And let me just leave this open. I have to connect the power supply next, there at the input side. Now, next what we will do is, we will take another supply. I'll tell you the reason why. We'll take another supply and place it somewhere around here. And now I will connect with the wires. I'll explain you why we are taking another supply. So this will act as a reference voltage. So let me just name it as V reference. Okay. So we are almost ready. So now let me give this reference voltage as 5 volts. So what we will do is we'll consider some value of these resistors. So let me rename this as RF, and the value which I want to give is around 1 kilo ohm. And let me rename this as R0. And the value which I want to give over here is okay. So what have we done is we have named value of this resistor as RF and this as R0, and we have connected a 10 kilo ohm resistor over here and a 1 kilo ohm resistor over here, and this is my V reference which I have applied a 5 volts over here. So this is what we have achieved so far. Now what we will do is we'll try to simulate this and try to understand what are we trying to explain over here. So let me go to simulate without worrying about anything. Let me go to simulate and click on run. So basically, what we want is we want DC operating point, that is a steady state value. So select DC operating point and click on OK. Just click on OK. So I think here we have some problem. Let me just resolve this. Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to go to simulate and click on run DC operating point, and here we have to type .op. So the moment we click on OK, you will get some values onto your screen. So let me just push this window a little this side. Okay. Now let us try to understand what are these values. So we are getting a very important value of V out, that is 0.499 volts. So basically this is the value which we are getting. And also one more thing, we are getting current through R0 as 0.005, that is around zero point 0.5 milliamperes, and current through RF is also 0.005. So let us try to understand this by going back to the diagram. So let me just write a few things onto the screen. So the V out value over here, what we will do is we'll directly write this values over here. So what we will do is we'll right click, we'll directly click on this node. So when I run it, it is giving me these values. And when okay, so what is happening is we are using a little older model. So we have to right click over here and place .op data label. So this will give me the phi value over here, 5 volts. So for your new versions, if you directly click on a wire, this value will automatically come. But since this is an older version, we have to do this way. And just right click on this and click on place .op model. So we have to again right click on this and we have to identify what is this current. So this is the current flowing through R0 resistor. So once I click on OK, the correct value of the current will come over here. And similarly, we'll go over this wire, right click over it and just place .op model, data model. So here also will confirm it as this is the value of V out. So this is the value of V out. Now, once we have confirmed that, we can remove this from here and place it somewhere anywhere here. Similarly, this also we can place it down. So we will try to analyze this, how we got this value. So the output is coming out to be around zero point 0.5 minus zero point 0.5 volts. This is around minus zero point 0.5 volts. Here we have given 5 volts and here we are getting the current as around minus zero point 0.5 milliampere. Let us check here also how much current here we are getting. So let us place this value over here and right click and select I of RF. So current flowing through the resistor RF and click on OK. So surprisingly, this value is also coming same. So basically, this is my IF current and this is my I0 current flowing through uh, resistor R0. So let me just label this thing. This is I of I0 current flowing through the resistor. So we can write I0 is equal to, so here like this. I0 is equal to this. Similarly, we can write over here IF is equal to this value you can see over here. So these are my currents. I am sorry that we are using today a older model of LT5 because I have changed the laptop. So this is a different laptop. That's why I have to still use the older version over here. Anyways, let us try to understand what has really happened. So the current flowing through this resistor R0 is given by I naught is equal to, let me just write over here. Let me just take this text and write over here. Current I0 is given by V reference voltage divided by R0. So that is equal to 5 volts divided by 10K. And this value will come out to be around 0.5 milliampere. So that's what I am getting over here. Let me just place this over here. Yeah. So that's how we are calculating this current. So basically why we are getting a minus sign, because the current is in the opposite direction. So current is flowing out of this terminal and that's why the current is coming out to be negative. Let us not worry about it. So if I give V reference voltage as minus pi, this current will be positive and this output voltage also will be positive. So let us not worry about the directions of the currents right now. So let us start with the analysis. So that's how we got this zero point 0.5 milliamperes at the input. Now, as we know from the simple I to V converter, whatever is the input current over here, it's getting multiplied by this RF resistor. So in this case also, whatever is the input current, now in this case, our input current is around 0.5 milliampere. In fact, it is minus 0.5 milliampere. Now, if this is multiplied with 1K, and that is V out will be RF times I0. So this current over here will be around this voltage over here. Let me just write it. So V out will be in this case will be equal to minus zero point 0.5 milliampere into RF. So basically this will be RF is 1K, so this will be minus 0.5 volts. So I suppose you have got the trend, how we got this values. So V out will be equal to the input current that is coming into this terminal multiplied by this resistor RF. So that's a classic example of a I to V converter. Okay, so I guess y'all are able to follow what we have done over here. So we have simply converted input current into a voltage. So basically why we are applying this 5 volts over here, it will be clear very soon. So what we will do is we'll build up on this circuitry. So let me just, I hope this is clear now. This will be V reference upon I naught and that will be this. So let me just push it on some other side of the screen. So let me just place it over here. Now what we will do is we will build up on this circuitry. So we'll take another resistor from here. In fact, we'll take 4 resistors like this. So one resistor will be over here, another over here, and another resistor over here. Why 4 resistors? Again, we have to be patient. We will try to understand this very shortly. So let me just, take this out, connect them with the wires quickly. So all this will go to the inverting terminal of the op amp. So let me connect all these resistors and let me keep this like this over here. And let me connect one more resistor over here like this. And let me keep this terminal also open. So we are already ready or almost ready. So what we will do now is basically we have to decide the values of R1, R2 and R3. So let us do one thing. So what we have to do is we have to take the value of R1 as R by 2. So this value 10K divided by 2. So if this value is R, so let me write over here. If R is equal to 10K, I need to select the value of R1 as R divided by 2. We'll try to understand why we are doing this a little later. But first we will do this and implement and then we will go back to our steps. This will be R by 4 and next step R3 will be R divided by 8. So let me just place it onto the screen like this. So this R0 is R. Let me just also write here R0. So this will be equal to R0 over here like this. So if R0 is 10K, R1 we will take it as around 5K, that is 10 by 2. And R2 we will take it as R by 4. So this will be around 2.5K, 10K divided by 4. And this we take it as around 10K divided by 8. So that will come out to be 1.2525K. Okay. And let us do one more thing. We have to define a certain bits over here. Okay, so what we have done is we have defined this as D0, D1, D2, and D3. So that's what we have done. Now, what we will do is we'll apply, let us say that this is my digital inputs, D0 to D3, where D3 is my MSB and D0 is my LSB. So let me also write over here as least significant bit will be my D0 and most significant bit MSB will be my D3. So we count an input will be a digital input which will be from D3 to D0. So basically what we are trying to do is we are giving it input as a switch. That means this will be connected to 5 volts. This will be connected, maybe the D1 is connected to 0, D2 is connected to 0, D3 is connected to 5 volts. So this way we can, we don't have a switch over here right now. So what we will do is we'll manually assign the bits, either logic 0 or logic 1. So logic 1 is your 5 volts and logic 0 is 0 volts. So what we will do is we'll try to give D1 and D0 as 0, 0 and D3 as 5 volts. So for this 5 volt, we will label this as V reference, and D2 D2 and D1 will be grounded because we have to connect it to, let's say, logic 0. So I am connecting D1 and D2 as logic 0. Now what we will do is we will similarly analyze all the currents in this node. So let me just run this circuitry. So before doing that, let me save this file. So saving the file is extremely important. So this is our 4-bit DAC. Okay, so we have saved the file. Okay, so it is not successfully saved. Let me try it once more. So that should be 4-bit DAC dot ASC. So now it is saved properly. It is an dot ASC extension should be added. So again, it is an older version. That's why we have to do this again. So if I run this circuitry now, simulate and run. If I remove this, you see the values are getting updated over here. So here some value has changed and this value has changed. So let us try to understand how we got these values. So first we have to place this currents over here. So let me just right click and place the .op model data, and this is current flowing through I1 resistor R1. So let me just select that. So this is the current flowing through that. So this is almost equal to 0 because it is around nanoamperes. Similarly, the current here will be, let me place this value over here, and this current will be current flowing through I2. So current flowing through resistor R2 will be I2. So this is my current I2. Let us see now current flowing through resistor R3. So again, let me place this model and right click and select the proper variable, that is IR3, and click on OK. So this is what I am getting, some strange current. It is not strange. Basically, it's the correct value only. But let us try to understand this. So similarly, this is my current which I have placed over here is my current I1. This is, I hope you will understand this. So this is my current I2, and this is my current flowing through the resistor R3. So this is I0, this is I1, this is I2, and this value will be I3. So is there a need to write this thing I2, I3? So let me just add it anyway. So this is my I1. I'll quickly do that. So let me call this will be the current I1. Next, I will call this as I2. So this will be I2. I will not change the positions now. I'll keep it fixed. This is I3. I'll place it over here. So everything is clear, and this is IF. IF is basically the total current flowing over here, which is the combination of I0, I1, I2, and I3. So basically we can write it somewhere over here. IF is basically the total current flowing, that is I0 plus I1 plus I2 plus I3. So we can verify simply by the summation of currents, that is the KCL says that the summation of incoming and outgoing currents will remain same. So here it will be IF will be the outgoing current, and all these are also outgoing currents. So all the currents will add up. So this IF basically is my outgoing current, incoming current, and I0, I1, I2, and I3 are my outgoing current. So hence we can sum the current up to that as follows. That is IF is equal to I0 plus I1 plus I2 plus I3. Let us check that. So I0 is minus zero point 0.5 milliampere and I3 is around minus 4 milliampere. So IF will be around close to minus 4.5 milliampere. So that's correct. So output is around minus 4.499 volts. So let us see how we have got this thing. So basically earlier we have written I0 is equal to V reference divided by R0, right? So that's how we got this value over here. So let me just similarly write the other things. So I will fast forward the video now to add a certain amount of information. Okay, so we are back. Actually, a lot of data has been added after fast forwarding the video. So basically, this is the application of I2V converter. Let us not lose track. Let us explain this meaning of how we got this I1, I2, I3 these values and I0 this value. So basically, what happens is we know that I0 is V reference divided by R0. So in this case, it is 5 volts divided by 10K. So that's why we got it as zero point 0.5 milliamperes. Minus it doesn't matter because it is outgoing current. And similarly, I1 is the current flowing through resistor R1. So in this case, the D1 bit is connected to 0, the logic 0. So hence I1 will be negligibly 0. So this nanoamperes is very small, so hence we can treat it as 0. Similarly, I2 is 0 current here because D2 bit is connected to logic 0 and D3 bit is connected to pi again because V reference is pi. So if I click over here and place the data, you'll get 5 volts. So here you have 5 volts. So 5 volts divided by 1.25K will give you 4 milliamperes. So that's how you got this minus 4 milliamperes over here. So the IF we have already told you it's the collection of I0 plus I1 plus I2 plus I3. So it will be minus zero point 0.5 milliamperes and plus minus minus 4 milliamperes. So that will be given you minus zero point 0.5 minus 4. So that will give you minus 4.5 milliamperes. So the total current, input current is around minus 4.5 milliamperes over here. So that multiplied by this resistor, we can say. So in this case, the total current will be, this will change over here. So this number will change. This will be the total current. So the total current will be IF times this number. Okay, so V out will be IF times the total current times the resistance. So in this case, we have the total current as minus 4.5 milliamperes and the resistor value is around 1K. Hence, we got that value as minus 4.5 volts. I hope this one example is clear. I'll explain it once again with one more examples. Now, let us describe this circuitry a little bit. So I will tell you now the reason why we have taken R0, R1, R2, R3 as R by 2, R by 4 and R by 8. So we have selected resistors. Here there is some problem, I guess. Let me just resolve this. There is some labeling problem. So I'll again fast forward the video. Okay, now it's fine. So we were in the point, we were discussing the point that we have selected the resistors R0 as R, that is equal to 10K, R1 is equal to R by 2, R2 is equal to R by 4, R3 is equal to R by 8, based on the weights attached to the digital bits from MSB to LSB. So we have a 4-bit number. So let me just elaborate it a little further. And let me just write over here. I think I will use this. Yeah. So I'll place this onto the screen. So let's say if you have a 4-bit number from D3, then we have D2, D1, and D0. So basically what happens is, how do we write this in the, this is a binary form. So how do we write it in the weighted form? So this will be 2 raised to 3, right? So this will be 2 raised to 3, that is 8. In the decimal form, this will be 2 raised to 4, that is 4. And this will be 2 raised to 2, that is 2 raised to 1, that is 2. And this will be 2 raised to 0, that is 1. So in the decimal form, it is read as 8, 4, 2, and 1. So basically, it is 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1. Let me just bring the pointer back. Yeah. So basically, this will be 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, and 2 raised to 3. So that's how we have adjusted this bits. Then D3 is our MSB bit, and D0 is our LSB bit. So we have attached this R by 2, R by 4. So basically it is R by 8. So this is actually 2 raised to 3, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 1, and 2 raised to 0. So that's how we have decided the the weights attached to the digital bits, right from MSB to LSB. So that's why it is also called as a weighted D2A converter. Okay. So basically, we have designed a application of I2V converter, that is a 4-bit digital to analog converter using I2V converter. So in this case, our D3, D1, D2, D0 are 4 digital inputs. So digital input means either you can give it either logic 0 or logic 1. So in our case, logic 0 is ground, that is 0 volts, and logic 1 is 5 volts. So that is what is written over here. And our output is V out is our analog output. So analog output is something which will change its value in the discrete in a small steps basically. So now this is one case what we have explained. So let us consider other cases and let us try to analyze this logic. So for doing that, I hope this thing is clear now. So why we have attached the weights and how this numbers have come up, that is V out, how this V out number has come, and what are these currents and how this is getting converted, the current is getting converted into a voltage, and hence we have made the use of I2V converter. I hope all these things are clear to us now. So let us consider more examples. So what I have done is I have prepared the data in the form of a Excel sheet. So this is a 4-bit DAC using op-amp. So I have named the digital bits. So as you can note, if there are 4 inputs, there will be 2 raised to 4 combinations. So these are 16 combinations of inputs possible, right from 0000 to 1111. So these are a binary representation of 2 raised to 4 numbers, binary numbers. So we have in decimal form, it is going from 0 to 15. So D3 is my MSB bit and D0 is my LSB bit. So we have considered this case. In that case, we have considered D0 bit as 1, D1 bit as 0, D2 bit as 0, and D3 bit as 1. So that's what we have considered this case over here. And here we have verified the current I3 was coming out to be 4 milliamperes. Don't worry about the sign now, basically. So sign is because we have applied this to the inverting terminal. So hence the output will be negative. So don't worry about that. Concentrate on the magnitude uh, of this current values and all the voltages values. So here I3 is basically 4 milliamperes. Here also we have seen 4 milliamperes. I2 and I1 came out to be 0, 0. So here also we have considered the case as 0, 0, and I0 came out to be zero point 0.5 milliamperes. So here it is zero point 0.5, and here I think I have called it as IT. Let me call it IF. So yeah, so the IF is the total current, which is 4.5 milliamperes. Here also we got 4.5, and correspondingly the V out value came out to be minus 4.5. So all the data I have represented it over here. So now what we will do is we'll consider any random case and we'll try to figure out how that has come. Okay. So let us pick this case. Let me just mark this first. Okay, I think let us pick this case, any random case. So let me just select this line. Okay, it's not getting selected, I guess. Yeah. So let me select this case. Let me just mark this with a slightly different color. Yeah, green is fine with us. So I will consider this case now. So in this case, we have D0 bit as 5. So this is 5 only. D1 is 0. And D2 is made to V reference, that is 5 volts. So this I will change it to 5 volts now. I will label this node as V reference. So I'll place it over here. And I'll run this again and let us check whether we are getting the correct answer or no. Okay, so let us check our values. So no doubt about I0. In this case, we are checking now this combination where D3 to D0 is 1, 0, sorry, 1, 1, 0, 1. So it is 1, 1, 0, 1. That is a digital combination. And the corresponding value of currents are 4 milliamperes, 2, 2 milliamperes, 0 and zero point 0.5. So here we have I3, 4 milliamperes, 2 milliamperes, 0 and zero point 0.5. We have already talked why we got here 4 milliamperes, because I3 is basically V reference divided by R3. So basically we have it over here. This is something is missing over here. Okay, so the value of I3 is coming out to be 4 milliamperes. Why? Because in this case, it will be 5 divided by 1.25K. So that is nothing but 4 milliamperes. And similarly, I2 will be 2 milliamperes, because V reference is around 5 volts. Let me just show you. Yeah, V reference is 5 volts. So 5 volts divided by 2.5K, that will give you 2 milliamperes. So here also we have 2 milliamperes. Well, I1 is 0 because D1 bit is connected to 0, and I0 is zero point 0.5 because 5 divided by 10K will give you zero point 0.5 milliamperes. And let us combine this all, that is I3 plus I2 plus I1 plus I0. That will give you in this case as 6.5 milliamperes. And here also we are getting 6.5 milliamperes. And let us check the output. Here the output is minus 6.5 volts approximately, and here also we got it as minus 6.5 volts. So we have verified this combination. Let us go to I think we shall go to this combination over here. We will check two more combinations, and yeah, so we'll check this dark green combination now. So here we have D3 bit as 0. So I have to change it accordingly over here. D3 is 0. Your D2 is 1. D1 is 0. And D0 is also 0. So here I have to accordingly label it. So I'll take I think I will take the ground over here and ground over here and connect via the wire. So here I am doing it live so that the results will come appropriately and these various cases will be verified. So now the scenario now is D3 bit is 0, D2 bit is 1, D0 and D1 bits are 0, 0. So we are into this combination. So ideally what should happen is, as per this table, I3 should be 0, I2 should be 2 milliamperes, I1 should be 0, I0 should be 0. So we should get output as minus 2. So let us run this thing and check. So let us close this. Are we getting minus 2? Yes, we are getting minus 2. So this case is also verified. The total current is also minus 2. So here also we have it 2. And here I2 will be only 2 milliamperes. So here I2 you can see it is around minus 2 milliamperes. Rest all the currents are almost 0. So here it is picoamperes, which is very, very small. It is 0. I1 is also 0 and I3 is also 0 because the individual bits, that is D3, D1 and D0 are 0. So let us check one more last combination over here and then we will conclude. Let us check this combination. So let me just label this as a blue one. Yeah. So let us check this last combination. So for this combination, we should have D3 as 0. Yes, we have D3 as 0, D2 as 1. So D1 and D0 also should be logic 1. So we have to remove this. Similarly, we have to remove this and label this as V reference. So basically, it is acting as a switch. So here we are manually doing it, but in actual practical conditions, it switch is connected, which is connecting either to 0 or 1. So here we are ready. We have applied D3 bit as 0. Rest all the bits are 1. That is logic 1. Now let us run this. So for this combination, the output should come out to be minus 3.5. And yes, indeed, we are getting it as minus 3.5. And here everywhere we are, the currents will be, let us check. The I3 current will be 0. Here also we have I3 current 0. Yes, we have I3 current 0. I2 current will be 2 milliamperes. I1 current will be 1 milliamperes, and I0 current will be 0.5 milliamperes. Don't care about the sign just now, just we are concentrating on the magnitude. So here also we got it as 0, 2 milliamperes, 1 milliamperes, and zero point 0.5 milliamperes. So that's absolutely correct. And the total current will be, IF will be the summation of all three, that is 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus zero point 0.5, that is 3.5 milliamperes. And this 3.5 input current is converted into voltage by multiplication of this resistor, that is 1K. So minus 3.5 milliamperes into 1K will give you minus 3.5 volts. So that's how we got this result. And similarly, you all are free to check all the cases, right from the first case from 0000 to 1111. So you will definitely get the all the analog outputs right from 0 to minus 7.5. So yeah, as you can see, the inputs is a 4-bit combination right from 0000 to 1111, which is a binary digital combination. So these are called as 4-bit digital data, and the output is in the analog form. As you can see, it's incrementing in small steps. So basically, the increment step over here is zero point 0.5 volts. So any combination over here. So let us say that we have checked over here 4 combinations. That is the yellow, that is 1001. So any input data that is corresponding to 1001 will be converted into 4.5 volts analog value over here. And any data, input data in the form of 0111 will be converted into, will be represented as 3.5 volts analog data. So in this way, a 4-bit and digital to analog converter is built up in using op-amp, and specifically using I2V converter. And y'all can check the remaining combinations. All the combinations will be effectively correct. And we have successfully built up a 4-bit digital to analog converter using the concepts used in current to voltage converter, and using op-amp OP07. So y'all are encouraged to try this on your own also. So for today, that's it. We will see some other interesting application of op-amp in the next online lecture series. So stay updated, stay tuned. So until we will keep another lecture, online lecture. Till then, have a good day and thank you for the patient listening.